What's up, my beautiful people? Hope you're having a terrific day. Exile451 here with yet another daily dose of Reddit Happy. It's Tuesday, so you know what that means. We're going back to r/AskReddit for some more funny stories that I'm sure are gonna make you laugh. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Alright, so we're going back to one that you guys really seemed to like last time. Drill instructors / drill sergeants of Reddit. What's the funniest thing you've seen a recruit do that you couldn't laugh at? Oh, and there are some good ones in here. Had two guys get in a fight in our bay during basic. Drill sergeant made them hold hands and pretend to be on a date all week. Only time they could let go of each other's hands was rack time. They ended up becoming pretty good friends. Well, I guess that would do it. Boot camp, MCRD San Diego. Had a kid with glasses, very young. Did not look like marine material. He kept glancing up at airplanes overhead during drill. DI noticed and asked him what he was looking at. Kid replies, "Airplanes, drill instructor!" DI says, "Those planes are trying to invade and only you can stop them. I want to hear you war cry at every plane until it leaves this depot." Remainder of phase 1 of boot camp consisted of this kid screaming at every plane overhead. Hilarity ensued. Oh gosh. I can only imagine the visual of that. "What's that disgusting crap all over your glasses, maggot?" "I believe it's your saliva, drill sergeant, sir." Closes eyes and waits for death. Man, boot camp sounds vicious. You guys aren't kidding about it. Buddy of mine told a story when he was at basic. One guy had said, "Yes, ma'am," to the female drill sergeant earlier in the day, so when they were all lined up, she was going down the line asking each person if they called her ma'am earlier. The guy who did was fourth in line, heard the previous 3 guys say, "No, drill sergeant," and then said in all seriousness, "No, ma'am." Is that a thing? If anyone in the military is watching, could you just explain that to me? Is that an actual thing? Like, do they not like being called ma'am? I figured that would be more respectful than saying drill sergeant, but if I'm wrong, please correct me. I overheard a, "Yes, petty officer. Yes, petty officer. Yes, petty officer. Okie dokie." Petty officer had to make a quick about face and flee before he busted up laughing. It was fantastic. A little inner Mario came out there, but that's not a bad thing. I had a female in my platoon who was a train wreck. At the end of our cycle, my SDS was giving a speech about how far we'd come, and she motioned to the female and said, "You used to call me ma'am, and look where you are now." This girl actually replied, "Yes, ma'am." Okay, so I'm guessing it is a thing. Not a drill sergeant, but when I was in basic, I saw 3 drill sergeants surrounding a private who was laying down, and they were all screaming, "Go the F to sleep right now, private! You take a gosh dang nap this very second, you poor tired soul!" Not exact words, but you get the gist of it. I still wonder how he got himself into that predicament. Had a soldier one time stop doing mountain climbers while we were being smoked as a platoon. DS came up and squatted down, yelling in his face why he stopped. Recruit yelled back, "The soldier has made it to the top of the mountain, drill sergeant!" Dude just walked away, trying not to break with laughter. Oh, dude. You got so lucky. Even not having ever been in the military, I can see that having played out entirely different. During FTX, the drill sergeant told me to get a trash bag, then go around and collect as many pine cones as I could. For like 3 hours. Had a bunch of trash bags. He then took a little walk around, contemplated for a bit, then said that he was mistaken and it looks better with pine cones. He then ordered me to redistribute all the pine cones. Follow-up comment here. One guy had a leaf on his ruck after an FTX and got the entire company smoked for stealing private property from federal lands. Everyone was laughing a bit, even the DS. A leaf. A freaking leaf. Story from my wife while she was in BCT. They're eating chow one day early on, maybe first or second day out of reception, and they hear a drill instructor yelling, "Why the F are you eating salad with a spoon?" Apparently, in reception, they had been told not to bother with forks since they had 5 minutes to eat their meals. Dude wanted a salad, and he decided, screw it, I'm eating salad with a spoon. Hilarity ensued. Drill instructors let everyone know that not using forks is a dumb rule, and whoever told them that is freaking stupid. Dude wanted his salad. It's an unwritten rule that early on, you're supposed to stick to the normal foods and not venture off from the basics. We had one guy on the first week grab a cheesecake for lunch. Next thing I know, all 4 drill instructors have their own cheesecake and sit down next to him. They're all asking him how his day's going, if he's having fun, any girls in his life, etc. Totally normal exchange. Which caught us all off guard. Finally, they all finish, and as our drill instructor is getting up, he says, "Recruit, that won't be the last time I see that cheesecake." And it wasn't the last time. The recruit threw it up later after the DI made him run 3 times more than the rest of us. We had 2 5'1" stocky blonde guys named Johnson in our company one cycle. Different platoons, no relation at all, but they looked really similar. One day during grass week, a couple J-hats made them face each other and go back and forth screaming, "You're not Johnson, I'm Johnson! No, screw you! You're not Johnson, I'm Johnson!" You have absolutely no clue how hard it was to not break into a million pieces after about 5 minutes of that. I'm cracking up just thinking about it. Not a DI, but I enjoyed watching this happen. On hikes, my DIs loved having conversations using the recruits as messengers. The DI at the end of the formation would send a recruit to the front to give the DI up there a message and back. They would either have stupid conversations or talk trash using the recruit. Not in boot camp, but in a school setting in the military. In formation one morning, I heard a slap and a guy killed a fly or mosquito or something. The instructor started screaming that corpsmen do not kill unless defending themselves, their Marines, or patients. He had just killed an unarmed friendly and we will give it a proper burial. So he made us all dig a human-sized grave while the sailor that killed the fly stood there with a dead fly in his hand. We gave it a funeral and everything, without honors, and had to fill in the hole. We kinda hated that guy for a while. Where do they come up with this? You have to be a particular type of sadist to be a drill instructor. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's probably too late for this, but I just thought of one. I was a super light sleeper during basic training. One night, I woke up for no reason. The sleeping bay was dark except for the light at the desk where the 2 soldiers on fire guard were supposed to be awake and alert. Both of them were leaning back in their chairs, dead asleep. I started to throw my covers off to go wake them up. If a drill sergeant came through and caught the fire guard sleeping, we'd all pay. But then I heard a slow scraping sound to my right, off in the darkness. I froze and heard it again, closer. A few heartbeats later, I almost screamed out loud as I saw the sharp, intense face of our Samoan drill sergeant in the darkness. His face was covered in full camo. He was low-crawling underneath the line of bunk beds towards the fire guard. He had a bayonet in between his teeth. We locked eyes and he silently raised one finger to his mouth, signaling for silence. I nodded and sat back to watch the show as the drill sergeant resumed his low crawl under and past my bunk in the direction of the sleeping guards. Oh. So I just have this picture of Dwayne Johnson slow crawling on the ground in full camo with a bayonet between his teeth. And I think there's few things I would find more terrifying than that to suddenly be woken up to. Oh my gosh. I work at basic training ranges, and we had a drill sergeant yell at his soldier while they were getting ready to go down a buddy live fire exercise. The soldier froze and started crying. This 18-year-old kid was just in tears for getting yelled at. The drill sergeant yelled at him some more, and he finally gave up because the kid wouldn't stop crying. So he made him scoop tears off his face and put them in his pockets till he filled his pockets up with tears. He did this for like an hour. It was hilarious. Just got off the trail a month ago. The biggest standout for me was while conducting a urinalysis, UA, we have a set of things we tell the soldiers to do. Wash your hands without soap, open the cup, place it in the urinal. At that point, I usually say, situate yourself, and I think you can take the rest from here. This kid at that point tried to climb on top of the urinal to fill the cup, still placed on top of it. I had to yell at him to stop and tell him to pick up the cup to urinate in it. I almost had to walk out because I was going to lose it. In probably 1,000 UAs that I had been there for, I'd never seen a kid climb the urinal before. Also thought of some more to add. One of the soldiers somehow got a forest ranger hat. Looks pretty close to a drill sergeant campaign hat. He then started raiding soldiers' rooms with soldiers in them, while his buddy recorded them on his phone. This is AIT, so they have phones and semi-private 3-man rooms. We ended up finding the videos uploaded on Facebook and figured out who it was, took the hat, and disciplined him. However, the videos were funny as heck, and his impressions of some of us were pretty spot on. And now for a fun thing I used to do to mess with them. So I was a DS in AIT, or Advanced Individual Training, for the Army. One of the first since they brought them back. In AIT, they have a bit more freedom and they can have certain things in their rooms. One of the things they like getting and usually hid in a locker would be a Google Mini or Echo Dot. When doing room inspections of soldiers that had a crap room, I'd randomly say things like, "Okay Google, set an alarm for 1 a.m. Or, "Alexa, play Katy Perry at 2 a.m. I'd have super confused soldiers in the mornings at physical training, wondering why they had random alarms going off all night. That's just mean, but brilliant at the same time. That was r/AskReddit, and if you want more funny or uplifting AskReddit content, then feel free to click the playlist link in the description below. Really hope you guys enjoyed that because it was a lot of fun to go find those. Now you all go out there, have a great day. I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.